Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the top 4 easiest reptiles for you to keep. So today I'm going to share with you guys what in my opinion are the 4 most easiest reptiles you can possibly own. You're still going to have to put some effort in, but to be different requirements you obviously have to meet to be able to take care of these reptiles that are on the list. So don't expect to not have to put any work at all or any research, even though these are the easiest reptiles. But especially if you don't know anything about them, that's when you need to do research. But you have to learn a bit and get used to taking care of them. But all I'm saying, these, in my opinion, are some of the easiest reptiles overall to take care of. But by no means, this is not a care guide. So I might say a few things about them, but this is not a care guide. So yeah, that's kind of a little intro into the easiest kind of reptiles you can keep. As in, this is my final points is there's all different requirements, all different research. You're gonna have to research. It's not just because they're the easiest reptiles doesn't mean you don't have to do any research or you don't have to do any work. You'll have to do work still. So also what I'm trying to say is it's not a care guide. Yeah, so you still have to do work. This is not a care guide. This is not to tell you you actually have to go to videos and make care guides as well. Read care guides and watch care guides. Also for that, if you want to actually make a care guide, I'll actually research on that pet or reptile and I'll make a care guide for it. You just comment down below and I can make that care guide for a reptile, maybe, if I can. So you actually want to see me reading off a list there, but that's why I was looking at the camera, because it's a lot of information I wrote about them, because not all the 4 listed I own. Actually, I don't own any of them. The reptile species I'm going to own actually the easiest ones. I own that's all I own. But yeah, so I'm going to give you 2 lizards and 2 snakes. This is why there's 4, not 5. But 2 lizards and 2 snakes of the easiest kind. And back to what I said, this is not a care guide. You still have to do research. So I'm just going to read off what I have here because I don't want to talk about something that I don't have a clue about, and then I mess up the video or talking about something I don't even know about. So that's why I have notes and I research these pets, obviously. First, we're going to start it with the first reptile, crested gecko. So crested geckos are pretty easy to take care of overall, but also in my opinion are one of the coolest little reptile friends you can possibly own. So they are cool. They're smaller than blue dragons, obviously. They're pretty like this small. I've never seen one of them before, but my friends have some, and they're quite cool. So they stay fairly small, so it's most of life. They are handleable, but they are a bit jumpy. That's downside or disadvantage to crested geckos. But unless you get used to the handling of them being jumping, and then some are better though at handling than others. So you've not the fair with a crested gecko, other than them dropping their tail or stuff. That can be stressful for a crested gecko owner. But yeah, but crested geckos require a small enclosure. So yeah, easy kind of closure. But so I was trying to read my notes here. So now the crested gecko can be kept in tiny closure, but it is still fairly small. The minimum standard for a crested gecko is usually considered to be a 20-gallon tank on its side, because it's arboreal, meaning they climb. So 20 gallon would be 24 inches by 12 by 12 by 12, which would be the other way around. So it would be 12 by 12 by 24. So that's when it's up that way. So yeah, crested geckos are arboreal, meaning they like to climb. So they climb trees and climb up in the trees, where you'll see venom would be terrestrial. So she'd be on the bottom, but semi-arboreal. So they're semi-arboreal. So you'd have terrestrial, which is the bottom, where they just stay on the ground all day and do whatever. But then you have semi-arboreal, which would be half terrestrial and half in the trees. So blue dragons would be on the bottom and up on top. And where crested geckos would be up in the trees always, and you'd never probably see them on the ground ever in the world. But yeah, that's what I found there. But now I said, well, By all means, let's go back to what they were saying about the tank or size enclosure. So what recommends keeping a crested gecko in is an 18 by 18 by 18 by 24. So not 12 by 12. That's the 21 I have, but yeah, it's wrong. 18 inches is better, but extra, yeah. So 18 by 18, 18 by 18 by 24 inches is what you want to keep a crested gecko. Now, that's just the perfect size for a crested gecko. And 18 by 18 by 24 is really small, but for use, which is good. So another great thing about the crested geckos, a lot of people like that do not have to eat live insects. So crested geckos don't have to eat any live food and insects, but you can give them as enrichment or kind of for them to hunt as enrichment. So yeah, crested geckos do benefit from crickets, as I said, or live food. Not crickets, but yeah, crickets are live food. But they don't need to be healthy. They only need to eat Pangea or else Rapashi. Or else there's Arcadia sticky food. But these are just a powdered diet mix with water. So you can add water to it and be kind of, it's kind of like oats, like porridge. Like when you mix it up, it'd be kind of gooey and sticky, stuff like that. But that's all they have to eat really. But I do recommend actually giving them live food every few weeks, at least, or a few days a week, or once a week, or once a month, so they can get so they get the enrichment to hunt. Another thing that makes their career really easy is they do not require any lighting, so they don't need any UV or heat. Although I'd recommend you give UV and heat to your crested gecko. Not heat, but UV, yeah. UVB is kind of a big kind of a controversial thing that's coming in the reptile hobby for people. I don't know how to pronounce it. Crepuscular species, which are, they don't need UVB because they stay hidden all most of the day and come out at night. That's what crested geckos they usually only come out at night, so they're crepuscular. Where the other opposite would be diurnal, which big dragons are diurnal, meaning they. Then wants to go back into your room. So big dragons would be diurnal, which means they stay up awake in the day. Where crested geckos are crepuscular. I'll actually put the word here here, yeah, here. Here. Crepuscular, so our temperatures for crested gecko, 60 degrees Fahrenheit to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 20 degrees Celsius to about 25, so about 20 degrees Celsius, 25 degrees Celsius, yes, and then the Fahrenheit would be 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 60, 80, yeah. So then usually room temperature is okay. So where my room would be about 20 something, I don't know. Usually at night time, actually my room keeps quite warm, so it's usually about 25 degrees, yeah. So that's where it'd be alright for crested gecko. But maybe I don't really want the crested gecko. Next reptile I want is the royal python or ball python, depends what you call them. In Europe we call them royal pythons. In America or USA they call them ball pythons. But yeah. So next thing I want to say as well is another disadvantage of crested geckos is humidity. Humidity is where kind of like there's water moisture in the air from heat and all stuff like that. So you need to mist out enclosure about 2 times a day or 3, and it depends how dry your area is. So you need misting. Proper humidity percentage they need is 50 to 90% humidity. So mist, as I said, mist once or twice a day. For crested geckos, that's a little bit of information about them, and that's the first thing I've done. The sun's kind of beating on me. So that's the first thing I've done, crested geckos. Now let's move on to leopard geckos. So leopard geckos need a small enclosure, minimum about 20 gallons, so it would be 24 inches by 12 by 12 or 18 by 18. It'd still be the same width but just a bigger height, so it'd be 6 inches more higher. Well, this is an 18 inches thing here. Right? This is 40 gallons. This is 36 by 18 by 18. So it'd be this big. That's an 18 inches. That's 18 inches big. And the 12 inches would be about here, probably. And it would be 6 inch difference. But yeah. Right. So diet is quite simple. Which with leopard geckos, you have to feed them insects. That's what they eat. So diet is simple, but they do have to eat insects. I'm just gonna read off my notes. So that's all they eat are insects in variety. So they eat crickets, locusts, worms, mealworms, waxworms. Waxworms are treats. Don't feed waxworms as a variety too much, or as a staple. I don't like to use the word staple. I like to use the word variety because you should give your leopard gecko or your insect animal different stuff always. So yeah. So they do require supplementations like calcium and vitamins. I'm not sure if crested geckos do, but you can research or ask crested gecko people, because I don't own crested geckos, but they probably don't. What from research says, I don't. So, but yeah, leopard geckos require supplementations like calcium and vitamins like bird dragons do. I know keep a friend of bird dragons, but that's all I own, so that's all I can only refer to. So yeah. Well, they're both leopard geckos and bird dragons are both desert species, so they kind of have similarities. So I kind of I have a bit of knowing about leopard geckos a bit. So temperature required for the temperature kind of how you want to give heat can be done with heat, as they need heat. Would be a heat pad attached to your thermostat, or else a CHE, a ceramic heat emitter, or have a halogen bulb. People think like they're also crepuscular as well, with like crested geckos. They come at night time, but like they do come out more than crested geckos do. They are terrestrial. They're not semi-boreal. This is a terrestrial lizard, so they come out and they don't hide always. So they're gonna get a hit of UV and a bit of sun. So so they don't, as I said, these don't need UV. Leopard geckos don't, but it's optional, and I would provide it. Now, for crested geckos and leopard geckos, I'd recommend you use Arcadia 6% UV kit, as that will be fine enough and good enough for your leopard gecko or crested gecko. But yeah, you can use a heat pad or a ceramic heat emitter, or those Arcadia. What is it called? The Arcadia. Is that the Arcadia CHE, the ceramic heat emitter? I'll have a look now what it's called. It's called Arcadia DP Projector. So I'd recommend the DP Projector or the CHE or the heat map. I wouldn't use a heat map, but some people do and it's successful. I don't know. I've never owned a leopard gecko. But so for humidity, they don't need high humidity like crested geckos do, but they do need a humid hide to shed, which is this like little live feed box. I've live feed boxes here. I'll try to get one out to show you. Let's see. So what people use is, and I'll get a lid to show you. Oh Jesus! Right. So what people do is they use live feed box like this, got a hole in it. Put a bit of sphagnum moss in, and that would be a humid hide to spray it down. Because leopard geckos don't like it humid as they're desert species, but when they're shedding or when they want to go in a humid environment like a humid hide, they can go in, and that would actually replicate them going into a burrow, which would be high humidity obviously, because they're down below where moisture would be kept. Where if you ever watch my bioactive videos, you'd notice that just put the boxes in. If you ever watch my bioactive videos, you notice that in bioactive setups, the substrate at the bottom or outside, even if you dig outside, you'll in the forest or in the muck or like dirt, you notice that at the bottom's really wet, then it gets drier and drier, all the top it's dry. Because it's a lot colder down there, so in burrows and stuff like that, the moisture will be kept. So they need a humid hide. So that's it for two lizards, for crested geckos and leopard geckos. Let's move on to corn. Corn snakes are by the my favourite, or not my favourite, but in my opinion they're the favourite of people, and they're the easiest snake to keep in all the snakes that you can have. and that's why they're overrated. Or overall, the best pet snake you can get. So corn snakes are very handleable and docile, but and very harmless bites. If they do bite you, it's gonna be very harmless. But they don't bite you. They're very docile. They're just not gonna bite you. I don't think I'd be surprised if it did. If it was tame and it was just out of the blue, I don't know. Maybe it was a food response, but other than that, I think so. Their requirements are very easy, like all reptiles on this list will be. So the downside, they do require big enclosures because snakes are bigger. But yeah, so the bare minimum would be a 40 gallon. This is 40 gallon here, 30 inches by 18 by 18. So this would be perfect for a corn snake. But I'm going to be selling this one, I think. This one because I do want to get a ball python, but or royal python, maybe not, because I do not want to kind of put it in a grass tank. I don't really like glass tanks, and then it would be too hard to keep humidity in for a ball python, royal python, and that actually goes into the next lake. But I'll talk about that in a second. Which yeah. So royal pythons need humidity. So yeah. So I'll talk about that in a second. But bare minimum 40 gallon for a corn snake. So this, if you're looking at here, this is a 40 gallon here. That's what you need for a corn snake. So yeah. So they're going to be eating mice as their staple for a diet. Now, I do not like staple either for snakes. You can provide variety for snakes as well. You can feed them chicks, eggs, quail eggs, yeah, and mice. And some people do rats after they're like laid in fertile eggs, or they lost weight, or came back after brumation. If you don't know what brumation is like hibernation, but for snakes and reptiles and stuff like that. I actually might make a video on brumation, but yeah. So if you want to make a video, want me to make a video about how brumation, but leave a comment down below. So no, corn snakes again do not need any special lighting. They just need a heat pad or a thermostat. But again, you can use a heat pad with connected to a thermostat, but I'd rather use a CHE or a halogen or a DP projector. Venom has a halogen bulb, that's what she has. Oh yeah, she has, and works great. So that's what I recommend. I'll actually link, I think it's this corner where it did actually review on the Arcadia halogen bulb, which you can see there if you want to consider using that bulb. So temperature for a corn snake would be 82 degrees Fahrenheit and don't need any humidity. So 82 degrees Fahrenheit would be I should check now. I think it would be like around, let's see, well, 70 to 20, so about 30 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. So 82 degrees F to C. Let's see. It would be 27, yeah, so around 30, yeah. So 27 degrees Celsius for a corn snake. So, now on to the species of snake that I was talking about, ball pythons. So, last but not least, but for a reason, because they make wonderful pets. Yeah, but for a reason. Yeah, there is a reason why they're last, but you'll see why in a second. So, as I said, per minimum of a 40 gallon, this would be, if this is 40 gallon, this would be perfect for a ball python. Some people say, but I disagree. Plus, I'd rather get a 4 foot like this one, and buy a 4 foot, and then stack the room on top. This is not stacked very well, and it's just, you could use this for a ball python or royal python. Some people do, but I'd rather get a room so the humidity and heat would be kept more in there than 3 foot. So I'd rather get a 4 foot and give the snake a bit of space, like a bit of dragon wood. So bare minimum would be 40 gallon, as people say, but I'd recommend a 4 foot. So temperature they need are 86 degrees Fahrenheit to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. With a heat pad attached or to a thermostat. I disagree again. That's what some people that's what research said, but that's what research says. But I'd recommend getting a 4 foot with them. I'm just gonna check what 80 degrees Fahrenheit to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's see. Okay. So 80. So about like 25 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. That's what you want for a wild python or a ball python. So they're like corn snakes. They're docile and handleable. So and they don't. Well, they're a little bit more. They probably have a higher chance of biting you, but they won't like bite. And they're not going to bite you, but they probably have a higher chance like than corn snake would. But well, and they are big snakes, so they would coil around your arm and kind of holding your arm tight. You know, it wouldn't be nice. But yeah, they are docile most of the time, and they won't bite you. So the downside, they are picky eaters, so which can be frustrating. So sometimes they go off food for a couple of months. Sometimes they go back on and off and off and off, back on, as they don't want, as when they kind of go off food, and just picky eaters. Yeah. So and the next thing I want to say is they don't need UVB. Now again, I prefer UVB, as I said, with the corn snakes and wild pythons, and because I think all these are crustacean species except for the corn snake. They're that stubborn up, like bear dragons they stay up by the day. So they actually all don't need UVB, but I prefer UVB. So yeah, that's it for this video. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you get notification when I post. Bye.